Hafa day, everybody. This is Fiscal Fitness, where I get the pleasure of hanging out with my friends here at Coast 360. And Drew, today we're going to talk about student savings, right? A very, very important topic because it's getting young people to actually make good decisions at a very critical time in their lives.
Oh yeah. So when it comes to accounts for students, you want to have both the savings and the checkings. Reason being is your checkings is for any of your daily expenses, food, gas, things like that. There's no fees for it going in and out. Whereas a savings account, that's for your future. You want to have things set automatically so that your paycheck goes into this, or at least part of your paycheck goes into savings, so you don't really think about it. And that way you're less inclined to spend it, so that those savings start to grow over time.
Absolutely. And we're not just talking about, collegiate students, because I mean, we know undergrads have a lot of, they're setting themselves up for the future with savings, but also they've got a crazy amount of expenses with books and supplies and whatnot, lab fees. So how about getting back to the undergrads, incoming college freshmen? What do they have to do as far as planning their expenses, possibly having credit, and then making sure that they track that so that they're not overspending?
Okay, so when it comes to incoming college freshmen, they have to worry about, of course, the books, the materials, the classes, and things like that, but also on their credit. In the future, what they don't really tell you is after you graduate, you start getting a real job. You need to start using your credit and start building your credit, because in the future, you're going to want to buy cars, homes. So start as soon as possible. Even though you have your standard checking and savings, also get like a small credit card. It doesn't have to be very big. And then over time, as you start buying your expenses during your college years, it grows your credit.
Yeah, exactly. And is being a undergrad too early to establish like a credit score? Because if you said you have a very a modest credit card and everything like that, can you still build a respectable credit score based on that?
Yes, absolutely. So there's no time where that you need to get it as soon as possible. The earlier that you establish your credit, the more experience you build. Because what lenders look at is how long have you had that credit card, or how long have you had that line of credit, because it shows more experience. If you have more years you have it, you're seen as a more experienced borrower, so lenders are more inclined to give you a little bit more, or give you certain loans that an inexperienced person would not normally get.
Okay, so how can collegians when have a good time in college and but still be fiscally responsible?
Well, you can do a lot of things without spending money. When it comes to college, you're there to learn. You're not there for fun, though. It's encouraged to have fun during your college years, but you want to be able to focus on school rather than focus on the party life. So definitely budgeting for the party time is a good strategy. The fun times overtake your financial responsibilities.
If we're talking about college again, or junior high kids going up into high school, what mindset shifts should these kind of young people have for developing good financial habits?
Yes, so one of the tips is definitely save and budget. In college, you don't really think about it too much. You get paid from your part-time job and you spend it on food and gas and whatnot. But when you get older and you graduate, you're going to start to realize that you're going to start to pay for things that you would not have normally paid for in college. Things like a car loan, a mortgage, your utilities, expenses that mom and dad normally takes care of. You're now going to have to deal with that when you graduate. So definitely start now. Like, you don't have to be paying for anything, just put it away in savings. So that way when you graduate, it's time for the big boy bills to come in, and for you to make payment, you're ready.
What is one thing that you wish you could have done different as far as your finances from when you were at UOG?
Oh man, I would honestly start saving and investing. So had I invested more when I was in college, I would be in a much better position today. Whether it be stocks, retirement, high yield savings, different types of accounts that make your money work for you. Had I started earlier, I would have had much more today, 6 years later.
Absolutely. And everybody who graduated this year in the class of 2025, we applaud you guys. We're super proud of you. And you know what? Being financially responsible and fiscally fit, which is why we do this segment, is a way that you can honor your parents for getting you to this point. So congratulations, grads. And Drew, thanks as always, bro.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Fiscal Fitness is made possible by our partner, Coast 360 Federal Credit Union. Together we thrive.